A great result for Everton, great result for Sean Dyche. I tweeted yesterday after the game, this is the manager bounce of all new manager bounces, right? This is what you want. This is what the Everton faithful want. They want to see their team sort of go up another level. Just in terms of energy, results will come and won't come, but just in terms of energy, run around the pitch. And you get that with Sean. So I guess questions are going to need to be asked why you didn't get that as much with Frank. But look, fantastic result for Everton. Takes them out of the relegation places for now. I want to focus on Everton. I know a lot of people are going to message about Arsenal and them faltering. I feel like we need to give credit to Sean Dyche and the way he set the team up first.
No, absolutely. Look, and it was a really good question just before the break as well. I mean, I don't want to use the word disgrace, but how can the players produce that amount of running and passion and commitment when they haven't done that? I mean, what I would say, there's two things. Under Frank Lampard, and you know, I think I feel for him, I really do, because how can a team run the most they've run all season in that particular game? Now, there was an argument with him that the team didn't really have an identity, you know, not just because he was switching from a 3 to a 4, and I do get that. But what you do get with Sean Dyche, and certainly this is why I think he's the right man for Everton right now, is you get a structure. You know exactly what is going to happen. You know what he wants. And that 4-1-4-1 system really, really worked. It did. You know, you got Calvert-Lewin, the ball's up to him.
How good did he look, by the way, yesterday? He's now running in the lines as well.
Well, I think he needs to look at himself.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, you know, how he is as a guy or how he looks after himself. And you know what? He's allowed to do whatever he wants to do outside of the pitch, but his number one job is to be a professional footballer, and he should get his body right towards helping Everton Football Club getting back up the table and getting where we all believe, at a certain age, where Everton should be. And the fact that he's been on the bench for too long, being injured, I think he needs to be working 100% about that. But when he's fit, when he's in the right place, when the balls are firing in, remember under Ancelotti, he really got into that 6-yard box, that 12 yards. Yeah. But also midfield as well. You know, Gay Holding was great. Onana was superb. Decore back in. So you've got Sean Dyche coming in.
By the way, you say that, sorry to cut across you. I look at that midfield three, and there's no way that midfield three should be anywhere near the bottom.
No.
Decore, Idrissa Gueye and Onana.
Yeah.
I mean, they're mountains. I mean, you can't get through that. Like, the legs and energy in that midfield three there is incredible.
Well, they showed what they're capable of, and they've set a standard now. Yeah. Now, what I would say is that so Sean Dyche has come in, and you know what Sean Dyche wants, and each player will know exactly what he wants, even in the short time, because a week is not long enough to get people fit.
No, of course not.
It's really not. Okay, they've talked about the bleep test and yo-yo, whatever you want to call it. It's a mental thing, which then brings me on to the second one, which is a change of atmosphere in the stadium. It is amazing the importance that fans play a part in a game. Yeah. Now, Goodison Park has been toxic almost this season, and yet last season practically helped keep the club up, keep the team up.
Especially towards the back end of last season.
Absolutely. Right? So what I'm saying is the importance of the fans, whatever the problems they have with the ownership, if they put it to one side like they did yesterday, if they all come together, because they all want, basically, what does Everton, anybody connected with Everton want?
3 points.
Stay in the Premier League.
3 points at the end of the game,
So what's the best way of getting that? Getting behind the team. Because I'm telling you now from personal experience, it's really not easy when the fans are on top of you. It's really a lot easier. It's not easy, but it's much easier when the fans are behind you, even if you make a mistake. And you're able to get in that extra tackle, make that forward pass rather than just a sideward pass because you're worried about how the fans are growing. And people turn around and say, you know, you're a professional footballer, you should be able to deal with that. And in theory, you're right. And the fans can do whatever they want. They pay their hard-earned money and they can, you know, have a go if they want to have a go. But Everton fans know exactly what the problem is. And while the recruitment has been absolutely terrible, and that's going to be the longer problem than medium to long term, how they change the players around with the FFP problems. In the short term, when the club comes together with the fans, we saw that yesterday. I do think, and we can touch on Arsenal a little bit later, almost the FA Cup felt like an international break almost. Yeah. In the sense that if that had been the game after the Man U game, I think Arsenal probably would have carried on and at least got a point, if not all three. But that coupled with what Sean Dyche has done and the fans behind the team, you saw what Everton are capable of now. And Sean Dyche will be saying, I want that week in, week out, day in, day out.
I guess it shows as well on Arsenal just how good Arsenal are now as a team, where now they've lost going to Goodison Park, which is never easy to go to, by the way. People are like, well, 1 second, is this the first little blip on Arsenal? Which I don't think it is. You still got a 5-point lead. You're going to need to rectify that very, very quickly.
Now.
You're right now. Obviously, you're right. Tottenham versus Man City, that gap could close to 2, and then it's really on. But what do you make of Arsenal? Just one of those days, or just a bit more of a concern?
As I say, I don't think it's a concern. But what I would say is, and it was interesting what Arteta said after the game, I love my players more now than I did before the game and last week. And what he's trying to say is, everyone was loving off Arsenal when they were winning games left, right and centre. Now was the time to stick together. Champions bounce back. Make no mistake about it. Arsenal are in a title race and they want to try and keep that gap as long as possible. The next game is absolutely crucial. And then I think the game after that is City. So win those back to back and suddenly you're back on it again. But drop points in the next game and then lose to City and suddenly the wheels could fall off. So it's really important the next game you make sure you bounce back, you get all 3 points and you say that was a blip, we're going to move on. That's what champions do.
Do you think there could be a case, and we're early in the season still, I know with February, but when you think about it, we're kind of sort of end of December, aren't we, because of the World Cup? He sticks to this same 11 a lot. Obviously, Nketiah's come in for Gabriel Jesus, but when you look at the 11 that Arsenal have, it's pretty much the same 11 week in, week out for every single game. Do you feel like you might need to freshen up with the players?
No, I don't think so. I think if the players are, and they've got enough sort of tests to see how they are physically as well, if they're physically okay, then, you want a consistent side as much as possible. I think when the Europa League kicks in again, then that might be an issue, but then you make some changes then.
And that's why they've done good business in the window.
Absolutely. The squad is deeper, and I think they have, done good business in the window. But you bounce back, you say, okay, you lost the last game. You're all fit. There's nothing wrong with you physically. Go and show me that you can be champions. Go and win the next game. And that's what he needs to do.